race gets underway now, and it is a great start from the number 17 car, David Bartholomew in the PRS. He is going to lead into Redgate Corner. It's a good start as well from James Jeffrey, isn't it? From the third row of the grid. He's up into second place in the race kits. Bill Cowley is third in the Cowley. And then is it Steve Boother, sorry, in fourth place, I think it is. He's got ahead of the race one winner, Dave Hodkin. He's got quite a bit of work to do here, Josh.
Yeah, he's already alongside Boother into the Craners, and he goes through. But James Jeffrey, sort of in the start of the weekend, although I think I just spoke too soon. Oh dear.
And big spin for James Jeffrey. He's off onto the grass. Dave Hodkin, though, is off as well. And I think the rain, it looks a bit heavier down at that end of the circuit than it possibly is down here.
Bizarrely, as the clouds came from this side of the circuit. But,
anyway, the rain certainly having its part to play. James Jeffrey's had a spin. Dave Hodkin has been off. We only had 12 starts in the end, so we had a few non-starters. Alex Bagnall, I think, was another one. And I think Dan Welsh also failed to take the start as well. He had various travails in the first race. So Dave Hodkin's got going again towards the back of the field. Right at the back of the field is James Jeffrey, who's got a little bit of ground to make up as well. There's Jake Doherty in the number 5 car that was previously raced by his grandfather, who was a 4-time champion. And he's just behind Hugh Davis at the moment in the Phoenix Fire, but it's Bartholomew leading by 4.7 seconds at the end of the first lap from Bill Cowley.
Yeah, so Davies and Doherty are battling over fourth at this stage. Hugh Davies in that car, which he designed the suspension and bodywork of. There's William Smith, he's up in 8th, which is probably higher than we've seen him go previously, but is about to be passed by the 2013 champion. Oh, it's sunny now at the Craner Curves, where everyone got caught out at the start, or a couple of people got caught out at the start at the very least. But Doherty coming under threat from Matthew Unwin, and you've got Dave Hodkin slicing his way through the order.
Mark Windley is the drive that he's passing there in the MWR1 DNC.
1973 car. So almost would fit into the historic category, but it's had some modifications since then, of course.
Yes. And of course running the Fiat 1.1 litre engine. Cars in 750 Formula within the historic 750 Formula, running the older Reliant engine that was the mainstay of this championship until 20 years or so ago. Now Dave Hodkin going to make up another place here. It's Matthew Unwin. He's going to get past this time, I think, as they head down the exhibition straight. Will he get past Jake Doherty as well, last year's Class B champion, before they get to the end of the straight? No, he won't. So he slots there into 6th position at the moment. Immediately gets onto the straight. He gets a good run on Jake Doherty, goes to the left-hand side of him and sweeps through. So up to 5th place now goes Dave Hodkin, and his next target is going to be Hugh Davis, who's our Class B leader in this particular race.
Yeah, those few overall classified cars between himself and Mark Windley, who's up next. William Smith's going well here, isn't he? There in 9th. He's keeping up with Windley, who was Class B winner over the on occasions last season. So I think that's probably the best we've seen him go in that car. Yeah,
Windley took the fight in the championship to the Class B championship to Jake Doherty last season. It was in doubt until the final meeting of the season at Alton Park. So, yeah, he's going very well indeed, is William Smith in that SZT.
Smith something, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Z, that's the unusual one, isn't it? That's the one that throws you out. But you'll have to check out the derivation of that name. There's a few 3-letter acronyms here. MWR is a bit easier to work out for Mark Windley, for example, and PRS we know about as well for David Bartholomew. Anyway, Dave Hodkin is now up ahead of Hugh Davis into 4th position. James Jeffrey is fighting back as well now after his earlier issues. He was 12th at the start of this lap, and he's got past the SZT now, and he's right with Mark Windley and James Affleck as well. James Affleck ahead now of Windley too.
Yeah, so James is going pretty well there in the number 16 car, the driver from Buckinghamshire. Experience in motorbikes and in minis as well. I think he's the son of Julian Affleck, who's raced in Mini Miglias and Mini 7s. But he's got himself at the front of this little group now, with James Jeffrey, Mark Windley and William Smith and Martin Depper not far back.
So we've got James the first, followed by James the second, Affleck followed by Jeffrey at the moment. Meanwhile, Dave Hodkin now with Steve Booth up in that Derby, number 7, a real prime mover behind this 750 Formula Championship, the driver from Andover. He'll be on local territory at Foxton, won't he, just up the road. And they're together now. Dave Hodkin is going to pull alongside, yep, and he's through into third place now. What lap times is he doing? Last lap was a 27. Bartholomew, of context, is doing 22. So too is Bill Cowley, actually.
I think Hodkin's 23. I think it's Boover.
Oh, beg your pardon,
27s.
yeah. Beg your pardon.
So let's see what Hodkin does this time. 22 as well. So
yeah.
They're all similarly paced, but a long way apart from each other.
Yeah, so Hodkin has got 10 seconds to make up on Cowley. He's got 9 seconds to make up on Bartholomew. So, I mean, it's possible Hodkin's still got something up his sleeve because now he's got a clear track for the first time in this race to try and do something with. Lap record for these cars is a 1:16.75, so a little way off that, unsurprisingly, given the precipitation that we've had in the early part of this
Windley
race.
got damage. The front of that car rather low.
It is rather low, and you can kind of hear something dragging along, and I think it's possibly a little bit lower than it's designed to be, so possibly something has broken on that car on the front end. I think there is that front bodywork is rubbing in a way that it shouldn't do. It shouldn't be right on the ground. You should be able to get something underneath it.
It's a great looking car, that, when it's got everything where it should be.
Yeah, nice, pretty little thing. For certain.
William Smith slot past him. Up through Schwant's curve. Can Windley bring the car home? So yeah, it's dragging along.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Leaders have gone through in the 22s again. Bartholomew and Cowley. How about Hodkin, fastest lap? He's in a 21. There's a 1:21.228 for Dave Hodkin, the aimshop.com fastest lap of the race.
So the gap down to 8.9 seconds now. I think he possibly just needs to be closing a little bit more rapidly than he is if he's going to make much impression here. James Jeffrey has got his race kits past the other race kits of Matthew Irwin. Different bodywork, though, that you see on those cars. That bodywork for the Jeffrey car was developed by the Colletts, I think, when they ran the car. Sort of all-enveloping bodywork, a bit sleeker than the standard, if you like.
Yeah, James Jeffrey, I think, is going to share that car again this year with David Reed.
Yeah, David Reed last year was the highest placed driver in his first year of racing. Picked up an award at the 750 Most of Awards night in February at Stratford-on-Avon. But Jeffrey here, after that off at the old hairpin, has had a good comeback here. He's got 4 seconds or so to make up on Jake Doherty, and he's lapping 2 seconds a lap faster, so he ought to be able to manage that before the end of the race. Jeffrey number 31, Doherty in number 5, and you can see those two cars together now as they head out of Coppice and down the Exhibition Straight into Roberts for the 7th time.
Hodkin was 2.5 seconds faster than Cowley this time through, lap 6, so the gap's down to 6 seconds. But now Bartholomew's in the 21s as well, so I think first place is out of reach, second is a possibility for Dave Hodkin.
Yeah, absolutely right. Big possibility. Cowley always seemed a little bit sort of pessimistic about his own possibilities, really.
The car's definitely not as fast in a straight line as some of the others.
No, it's not, and we saw that in the first race. But Bill, I think, largely makes up for that with his driving ability.
Presumably because the car was designed so many years ago.
Absolutely, yes.
The aerodynamic thoughts have come on since that car was originally designed.
You probably wouldn't design that car as it is today, would you, if you were starting with a blank sheet of paper now, or a design piece of software?
The computer wouldn't bring that out.
No. If you put into ChatGPT, design me a racing car, it's unlikely that the Cowley Mark IV would be what it would spit out. It'd be intriguing to find out what it did.
It's a great looking car though, like
Yeah.
the Windley car as
It
well,
is.
the DNC.
5 minutes to go, so a third of the race remaining here at Donington Park in this Raceparts 750 Formula Championship. Another fastest lap of the race for Dave Hodkin at 1:21.076 now, so the gap has come down to less than 5 seconds, 4.8 seconds between Cowley and Hodkin. Cowley, though, is pushing on. He's done his best lap of the race as well at 1:22.684 on the last lap.
That's still 1.6 seconds that Hodkin is quicker. I don't think it would be unfair to say these two don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
If Hodkin catches Cowley.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how things develop in the final stages of the race. If Hodkin can reel him in, which he's on course to do, isn't he? But it'll only be probably towards the last lap that they get together at the current rate of progress.
For Class B, James Jeffrey is now second and catching Hugh Davies. 4.5 seconds is the gap. Jeffrey about a second a lap quicker. Whether the off-put has sort of dashed his ultimate pace, James Jeffrey doesn't seem quite as quick in the dry as he was in the wet in comparison to others. So here's Hodkin. Bartholomew does a 1:23.9. Cowley does a 1:22.8, quicker than the leader. But quicker than both of them is Dave Hodkin. He's at another fastest lap, 1:20.5, 2 seconds quicker than Cowley.
Right, so, and what have we got? 3.5 minutes to go, so they're probably going to get 3 laps out of this, aren't they? 3 more laps out of this. So it could possibly be towards the end of this lap that they are together. So you might have a 2-lap battle for second place here between Bill Cowley and Dave Hodkin. Dave Bartholomew well out of it. He's 10.5 seconds clear. I don't think we've seen much from him in this race, so apologies to Dave Bartholomew fans, but we caught a glimpse of him there. He is still circulating in number 17 in the lead of the race. So 17 Dave Bartholomew leading Cowley, number 77 in second, but he's being caught by number 63 Dave Hodkin with just a couple of laps to go at the end of this one.
I wonder which of these 3 may do the full season or not. From a championship point of view, maybe helped that there's 6 events this year rather than 7 previously. That might encourage more people to do a full season. But Bartholomew traditionally shares the car, and Hodkin hasn't done a full season for a long time, and Bill Cowley's not done. Last year I think he might have done or almost a whole year, but not quite.
He had a little sojourn into the world of two-wheeled sport, didn't he, I think? Away from 750 Formula 4. And into the 19s now goes Dave Hodkin, 1:19.904. The gap is less than a second now, so as I predicted, towards the end of that lap, they've got themselves together. Yeah. And now the battle is on, Josh.
Absolutely. And, Hodkin was 4 seconds quicker than Bartholomew, so if he does that on the next 2 laps, it wouldn't be that far away from him, but I suspect Bartholomew could pick his pace up. So through the old hairpin they come. Hodkin did a bit of Formula V racing as well, I think.
He did, yeah.
I don't think Cowley's done any other car racing.
Not that I can think of, no.
Did he do a one-off in a low cost?
Oh, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
Well,
Croft, I seem to remember.
Hodkin's got past, and Cowley's trying to fight back. They're side by side. So they head up towards Copper's corner, and Cowley's back ahead. So he's not going to give up on this second place as easily as it first seemed. There's a flashing light.
Is that a yellow? Yeah, it was a white, I think, for the slowing Mark Windley, and that's possibly because of that issue he's had for much of the race with the front bodywork just seemingly dragging along on the ground. So they were side by side going into the corner there, Hodkin and Cowley. Cowley's come out in front, of course, with a white flag. It doesn't mean no overtaking, but obviously you do need to be aware of a slower vehicle. So they're on to the last lap. David Bartholomew is already on his last lap.
That's right. So he looks good for the final win of the day. But second place is being contested. Hodkin's proved to have a much quicker car, but Bill Cowley's using his racecraft to stay ahead. And now down the Craner curves, they're going to be side by side. Yeah, Hodkin didn't fancy sticking that out, so Cowley's still ahead. But on the previous lap, he was able to carry so much more speed uphill towards McLean's, and that's where he was ahead briefly. See if he can do the same this time. And no, Cowley's still ahead, so this is going to go right to the end of the race, I reckon.
Yep, looks like it. So half a lap to go here. David Bartholomew already, I think, on the exhibition straight. He was about 10 seconds clear of these two at the start of the lap. That big black cloud has done it, pretty much missed Donington, which has been good for this race. We could have done without a big cloud burst. But is it going to be Bill Cowley or is it going to be Dave Hodkin that takes second place? Hodkin to the left-hand side of the circuit as they head into the braking area. He's got his nose ahead. He's on the brakes a little bit later, possibly. Bartholomew comes through to take the win then. It's his first win of the season, but it's going to be Cowley that comes through to take second place. And Dave Hodkin third as some of the back markers come through as well. So Cowley and Hodkin didn't really ignite in the way that we thought it might do, that battle. So Bartholomew 17 the winner, Cowley 77 in second, and Hodkin 63 in third place, Josh.
Hodkin did get past, didn't he? Well, I think he outbraked himself, and that allowed Cowley to come back through. But considering Bill Cowley's car was about 2 seconds a lap slower, that was impressive to keep him at keep the chasing car at bay there.
Yes, I think you're probably right in terms of what happened there with Hodkin. We didn't see it because we were just watching Dave Bartholomew take the flag quite rightly. But yeah, a good dramatic conclusion to that race, but not ultimately completely wheel to wheel. Hodkin did get through, as you say, but and seemingly a better fist of the chicane than Robert chicane was made by Bill Cowley there.
Hugh Davies held on to win the Class B of the less experienced or less successful drivers in the past. He held on ahead of James Jeffrey by 1.2 seconds, so Jeffrey didn't quite get there, but he's got good pace this season.
We have, and I think James Affleck still got to come through to take the checker flag, which I think he is about to now. Yes, he does. And so 11 finishers we will have in this Raceparts 750 Formula Championship out of the 12 starters. Mark Windley, a DNF, and a few DNSs as well, unfortunately, with various dramas during the course of the day. We'll see if we can bring you the results of that race. Here they come then. David Bartholomew, number 17, was the race winner in the PRS 1B. 11 laps were completed in that 15-minute race, and he was 8.226 seconds clear of number 77, Bill Cowley, in the Cowley Mark IV at the end. Third was number 63, Dave Hodkin, in the HRD Mark II. Fourth was number 7, Steve Booth, in the Derby Mark V. Then fifth, number 21, our Class B winner, Hugh Davies, in the Phoenix Fire. And then James Jeffrey, after that, off on the opening lap. He came back to finish 6th in number 31, the Race Kits Falcon. 7th was number 5, Jake Doherty. 8th, number 39, Matthew Unwin. 9th, number 16, James Affleck. And 10th was number 8, William Smith, with Martin Depper and Mark Windley. Martin Depper, the last of the finishers in actual fact. So that brings to an end today's racing here at Donington Park from the 750 Motor Club. I'll just remind you of our next meetings in a moment. First of all, I'll say a big thank you to all of the marshals for the sterling efforts that they have put in during the course of the day. But Josh has got some news.
Yeah, some news from earlier in the day. Martin West has been excluded from the Mazda 7 race for the yellow flag overtake on the slower car. So Ben Powney's a double winner in that race. So just a little bit of news from earlier today.
Thank you very much. So yes, just to reiterate our thanks to the marshals and indeed all of the other officials of the 750 Motor Club that work behind the scenes to put these race meetings on. Many thanks to them, and we look forward to your continued support throughout the end of the year, throughout the rest of the year. Croft in 3 weeks' time is the next stop on the 750 Motor Club calendar. Alpha Live will be there to stream the events. If you're watching on the stream now, do tune in again in 3 weeks' time. Join me then. And Brands Hatch in 4 weeks' time. It's also going to be streamed as well. Reminder that next weekend here at Donington Park, it's the British Superbike official test weekend, and then there's No Limits bike racing the week after that, and rounding out the month it's the GT Cup Championship and the British Touring Car Championship here in the final weekend in April. So that's all here at Donington Park over the next few weeks. Josh, it's been a good day's racing. Enjoyed blowing off the cobwebs here at Donington.
Yeah, good to get back to a race meeting. It's been a long time, hasn't it, since we were at Silverstone, but now it gets very busy with lots of weekends. Like you say, 2 more 750 Motor Club meetings this month, which we're at 1 each.
Yeah.
And you're going north, I'm going south. And yeah, looking forward to those. And like I say, some good racing. We got some dry races, which was good, and the rain we did not arrive. The rain we were expecting did not happen.
Maybe for the way home, John. Maybe for the way home. Thank you very much indeed to Josh Barrett, who's been with me in the commentary box throughout the afternoon. He's also down there for the pit walk with Yusuf at lunchtime as well. So we're going to leave you from the commentary box in just a moment. Josh Barrett and myself, I say, I will talk to you again at Croft in 3 weeks' time. But for now, we're going to head down to pit lane for the final time. And Yusuf bin Sahel, good night from me and Josh.
Well, he finished second in race 1, but race 2, a race winner. David, did you get a little bit scared with the rain came down at the start?
A little bit. It got off the line a bit better. I focused on getting off the line and not a lot else. And then, was it going to rain or was it not going to rain? But no, it was a good race.
I was quite excited for it to rain with all of you on slicks, because that would have been hilarious. Well, hopefully none of you put it in the tyre barriers, but I thought it would have been really fun to watch.
I think it would have been fun. I think it was the same for everyone there. We were all on slicks, so it would have been a bit of a laugh. But I'm glad that didn't happen.
Rather uneventful race for you, pretty much.
It's
you
definitely connected
at the
to
front
the
and then
handheld.
just checked out.
I was perfectly happy with that after the first race, actually. But yes, it was a bit
So
like
just
that.
having a few technical issues, I think, with the mic down there in the pit lane. We'll hopefully get back to Yusuf with David Bartholomew in a moment. And we'll just see if we're able to do that. Just a few problems there with that. But we were hearing from David Bartholomew, who was talking about his race win and how the sort of changeable conditions at the start of the race were something that did perturb him a little bit. But we can now head back down to Yusuf to carry on his wise words with the winners.
Okay. Oh, okay, we're back. Well, your car worked better than the setup.
It worked a lot better in that race. I focused on getting off the line, it got off the line, and then I worried about what was going to happen from there and whether the rain was going to come down.
Well, first and a second, congratulations, leading the championship as well. Pretty good way to start the season.
Yeah, it's been a nice weekend start the season. I'm glad it was dry for the second race. The first one was very hard work. So, yeah, we go on to Thruxton for the next one.
Congratulations again, and we'll see you at Thruxton.
Thanks very much.
Well, we'll move on to our second place driver. Let's have a little run around. Bill, did you get a bit nervous when you saw Dave popping up in your mirrors?
Looking at the time, and I said, right, we've got 5 minutes to go. And I was like, Dave's going to have me. So, and my dad just said, bring it back for a finish, but I'm a racing driver. I don't know, let's have it. So yeah, but it was a cracker race between me and Dave, to be fair. I was struggling with fourth gear, kept jumping out of fourth gear, so I was having to drive most of the circuit one-handed, which made life very difficult. But either way, I think third would have been the whatever it is.
Worst case scenario, I think.
Yeah, third would have been worst case. So yeah, overall, good weekend.
Two hard-fought podiums, I think we can say, but a very, very good job. And moving on to Thruxton, again, looking for more podiums or looking to that top step?
Well, I'm not too keen on doing Thruxton, to be honest. So
How can you say that?
right, it's boring. I could put glass eye to sleep that place in a 750 car. So no, we'll see what we want to do. But I know me and my old boy ain't bothered about doing it. So we'll see.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations again for today.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate.
Right, we'll have a little walk around to Dave. I'll just try not to make my cameraman trip up. Dave,
How you doing?
I thought you had him.
It was a couple of times, it was really close, but we gave each other racing room, and into the chicane on the last lap, I outbraked myself, and he managed to cut back past me.
I will say though, you were the fastest driver out on circuit by a long shot. What happened at the start to drop you so far back?
James spun in the old hairpin, and it was a starburst effect, and unfortunately my line was straight through the gravel, and that threw me right to the back of the field, and then it was just a charge from there.
Well, you got to have an exciting race to round out the day. Round out the day for everyone watching on YouTube as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, congratulations again, and unlucky in not being able to get second at the end.
No, well, Bill deserved it. I mean, he drove really well and made it sufficiently hard for me.
Final question, unlike Bill, do you like Thruxton?
I think Thruxton will really suit the car. I've never.
Is that a very diplomatic way of answering the question?
Well, I've never been there, so I really can't tell you. But but the layout looks like it will work with the car.
Well, we'll come back to you and get your thoughts after Thruxton then.
That'd be great.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, that rounds out all of our racing here at Donington Park for the opening round of the 750 Motor Club. Join us on the 21st and 22nd of April for the very next round at Croft. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.